Welcome back. Today we're looking at a painting about four people who are standing together and couldn't be further apart. This is The Balcony, painted in 1868 by Édouard Manet. At first glance, it looks straightforward enough. Three elegantly dressed figures on a Parisian balcony. White dresses, green shutters, a man standing behind. A fourth figure barely visible in the shadows inside. Simple, almost casual. But the longer you look, the stranger it gets. None of them are looking at each other. Not one. The seated woman stares off to the left. Past us, past the street, past everything. The standing woman gazes somewhere else entirely. The man behind them looks in yet another direction. They are three people sharing a balcony and occupying completely separate worlds. Manet did that deliberately. He once said he wanted to treat his figures like objects in a still life. And he meant it. The flowers at the front of the railing received more careful detail than some of the faces. Critics at the Paris Salon were outraged. One caricaturist suggested the shutters should simply be closed. Now, here's where the painting gets a whole other layer. The seated woman, the one whose dark eyes pull you in the moment you look at the canvas, is Berthe Morisot, a painter herself, one of the finest of her generation. And she had only just met Manet the same summer he asked her to pose. Posing for Manet in 1868 was not without risk. He was already infamous. His Olympia and luncheon on the grass had scandalized Paris. For a woman of Morisot's social standing to model for him was a bold, borderline reckless choice. She did it anyway. Manet was obsessed with getting the painting right. He had his friend Guillaume, the man standing in the back, pose for him at least 15 times. Guillaume complained bitterly about it. When the painting finally went to the salon, Morisot wrote to her sister, "I've never seen anyone in such a state. One minute he was laughing, the next insisting the picture was dreadful, then certain it would be a huge success." The critics mostly hated it. One called it coarse art at the level of house painters. Another described Morisot herself as more strange than ugly, to which she replied dryly that apparently some in the crowd had taken to calling her a femme fatale. She didn't seem to mind. And that half-hidden figure in the dark interior behind them, thought to be Léon Leenhoff, Manet's son, watching as ever from the shadows. Today, the balcony hangs in the Musée d'Orsay in Paris. Morisot went on to pose for Manet more than a dozen times, more than any other model. She eventually married his brother. Whether she ever stopped looking past the edge of that balcony into something only she could see, that the painting doesn't tell us. If you'd like to bring this extraordinary work into your own home, this painting is available as a handmade oil painting reproduction from firstartgallery.com, with tens of thousands of satisfied customers in more than 120 countries, and incredibly talented artists who create every single painting by hand to order, just for you.